Another week has gone by, so once again, let's meet some people who regrettably we have to share the planet with. People who've recorded themselves blissfully unaware at how utterly terrible they're being. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to People Being Awful Part 45. And let's kick off with a confused man in a dress who's upset that people objected to him going to female-only spaces.
I was attacked using the female lavatory facilities in Portcullis House when attending a session of the Women and Equalities Select Committee. I'm Robin White. I'm barrister in independent practice. And on the 11th of June, I had attended a session of the Women and Equalities Select Committee. And at the end of that session, I needed to use the lavatory. I checked with the parliamentary staff whether it was appropriate for a trans woman to use the female facilities. They said it was, and yet in using them, I was attacked by Kate Harris of the LGBT Alliance, Heather Binning of the Women's Rights Network, who loudly and unpleasantly objected outside the facilities to my using them, carried on doing that when I went inside to the point where they could be heard through the door, which put me in a very humiliating and frightening situation. It left me white, shaking, really concerned about how welcome I was on the parliamentary estate.
So that's Robin, and if Robin had just used the disabled toilet, and there will be one, none of that would have happened. But I'm guessing he doesn't get the same thrill in a disabled toilet as he does making women feel uncomfortable. And that thing's a lawyer. Who wants that representing them in court? Sod British law, he doesn't understand the laws of reality. And why is he attending the Women and Equalities Select Committee? He's a man. He's a cock in a frock. And what was the nature of the attack from the woman from the LGBT Alliance? The LGBT Alliance are a group of lesbian, gay and bisexual people who, like so many people in those communities, are trying to distance themselves from the TQ cult. What was it? Mortar fire? Heavy artillery? Strafed from the air? No. Someone shouted because they didn't want a cross-dressing pervert in the ladies' room. And she could be heard shouting through the door, "Shit, call the bomb squad." And the audacity to say it was frightening. Now, I can't speak for women, because unlike Robin, I've never even pretended to be one. But I'm guessing many women would be more frightened of being in an enclosed space with that thing than he's frightened of being shouted at. What an absolute arsehole. Next.
I can be masc, I can be femme, cause I'm gender fluid. I am non-binary, I go by they, them, don't you fucking use she, her. My name is Dax, not redacted, don't use that one too. Why don't you like me, why don't you like me, is it because you're a turd?
Wow, what a beautiful song to highlight someone's mental illness. Sorry, she's gender fluid, and to be gender fluid means you can identify as male or female. But she is also non-binary, which means you don't identify as male or female. Surely she can't be both. That's like saying, some days I'm a dog and some days I'm a cat, but I'm not a dog or a cat. And her name isn't Dax, unless she's a character in an extremely low-budget 1980s sci-fi film. And asking, why don't you like me? Well, in just a few seconds, Dax, you come across as really fucking irritating. But then she asks, is it because you're a TERF? A TERF, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. So not only is she non-binary and gender fluid, she's also transgender. Is it just me, or is she just ticking boxes for attention? Next up, let's see an interview.
What's today about?
Trans against fascists.
It's what, sorry?
Trans against fascists. So,
What's the fascism that you've been seeing at the moment within society?
well, it's just, there's a lot of hate crimes and stuff that's been going on. And just, people's basic rights have been taken away.
You mentioned that rights are being taken away. Which rights are being taken away at the moment?
I've not looked into it too much, but one of the biggest ones I've seen recently, trans women can't use the women's bathrooms.
Right.
But that also is going to affect a lot of people. People have kind of stuck it to trans women that they're predators and they're working on biological women, when in fact you're going to find bad people in every community and space you're going to go to.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's it, sorry?
We've just been warned.
Can someone tell them that the pandemic is over? And all credit to the interviewer by allowing the interviewee to demonstrate she knows sod all about anything. Oh, people are having their rights taken away, but I don't know what those rights are. Oh, and there's a lot of hate crimes, but I don't know what the hate crimes are. At least she's standing up for Robin, our friend from the start of the video, the incredibly unconvincing transvestite. And yes, there are bad people within every demographic group within society, but there's a disproportionate number of sex pests among the men who wear high heels.
Hi, we are All Girls Pets. Our EP live at Grand Social
comes out Monday, March 24th.
All girls piss. But we're told repeatedly it's not a fetish. That's a band made up entirely of men who identify as women, who've named their band after the creepy obsession with going into ladies' restrooms. What a time to be alive.
Now, if you really want to get the ice agents with glitter, you do the actual smart thing and dumping it into the vents of their van. So, right where the windshield is, there's HVAC vents. You dump the glitter in there, they go to turn on their HVAC, and it'll freaking spray them with glitter. So, there's another tactic y'all can use with the glitter, too. Dump it in the vents just below the windshield of their vans. Have a nice day.
Yes, another common cause of performative outrage, objected to the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers, who I'm led to believe are deporting illegal immigrants en masse. Keir Starmer, if you're watching, next time you see your friend Donald, ask for some fucking advice. Now, I don't know what that gentleman is meant to be dressed as, other than the stuff of nightmares, but I would counter his argument. If you want to take on ICE, don't take a pot of glitter and apply it to their van or them. If you're going up against men, and women possibly, who routinely carry assault rifles, glitter is not the best option. You're bringing glitter to a fucking gunfight.
Men, if you're still confused as to why we say it's all men, this is why. Anytime I walk anywhere, I get honked at multiple times. I stopped at a gas station yesterday to get me some water and to sit in the shade for a little bit. I had this earphone on. Clearly, I was not looking to engage with anyone. An old man proceeded to harass me the entire time I was sitting there. He wouldn't stop asking questions. He wouldn't stop trying to talk to me. Even when I tried to ignore him, he repeatedly tried to get my attention. And then, when he thought he had it, he asked me if I would give him a fucking blowjob. So yes, until enough of you stop that fucking behavior, it's all fucking men.
And on today's edition of Things That Didn't Happen, that story, let's park the end of it for the time being. Are we meant to believe that that woman, with the hideous facial piercings, spots, greasy hair and an expression like a cat's arsehole, gets hit on all the time? And as for the old man who doesn't exist, let's consider it. Maybe this older gentleman, this older fictional gentleman, is from a time when it was polite to talk to strangers. Or maybe he's lonely. Maybe he's a widower. This may be the only conversation he has all day before he shuffles back to his empty home, where he has memories of him and his wife, who's now departed. And he sits down in a chair and contemplates whether or not to blow his brains out with Kurt Cobain's toothbrush. But asking for a blowjob from a stranger, that is appalling. But again, I don't believe it actually happened. I think our new friend is just a very, very bitter woman with big daddy issues. Anyway, weren't they an appalling bunch? That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you could like, comment and share the video, that helps with the algorithm. If you'd like to support me in making these videos, there's links in the description to buy me a coffee and to my Patreon. And as ever, thanks for watching. So that's our new friend Robin. And if you look carefully, what the fuck happened there? And she could be heard through the door. Was it through the door, or being a lavatory, was there a gap under the door that would allow the sound to travel through? It's not that big of an issue, Chief. What a beautiful song to highlight that someone's absolutely fucking mental. And she's got her flags So I guess she could do some sort of bollocks. She could do... I'll fucking start again. Semaphore, that's the word I wanted. Can someone tell them that the pandemic is over? Because let's be blunt, no normal person wants to go within 2 metres of them anyway. Now, all credit to the interviewer to allow... fucking bollocks. All girls piss, but it's not a fetish. That's a band made up entirely of men who identify as women. Can you imagine the fucking crowd at one of their gigs? The amount of flags and they-them badges. Ugh. And on today's edition of Things That Didn't Happen, that woman claims that... fuck that up, didn't I? And on today's edition of Things That Didn't Happen, that woman... I've fucking done it again.